Alright, just hit that button right there. Start recording. I set up this set as best as I can to create a familiar environment for these Untitled Rants. I mean, I got like a wall of collectibles back here. I got no green screen. I mean, there's a couch. Pretty sure Dirtsheet's got a couch. I don't have a pibble. I can't recreate that. So, got to deal with what we got. Cold open. Good morning, fellas. Welcome to an Untitled Rant from an Unorganized Mind. Today we're going to talk about microtransactions in video games. So if you've been a gamer for a long time, you've most likely noticed that games are changing. Games aren't what they used to be, and it sucks. So like, sometimes you'll go buy a game and you'll play as much of it as you want, and then you'll see that eventually the developers release something called DLC, downloadable content. And this is stuff that will increase your playtime with this game. You'll get more bang for your buck. Or well, more bang for more bucks, I guess. And it will increase the lifespan of this game that you're probably enjoying. Otherwise you probably wouldn't purchase it. Downloadable content is one thing, and that's like big in-game content that's going to increase the lifespan of the game. But microtransactions are a little bit different. So microtransactions are like little things. I'm gonna call them MTX. No, I'm not. Never mind. That sounds stupid. I'm gonna call them microtransactions. So microtransactions are like, as the name implies, tiny purchases that you make from within a game. So I did a little bit of research here, and I found out that the first time that the gaming world saw microtransactions was in the very early 90s, I think 1990 to be exact. This was on an arcade cabinet of a game. I think it was Double Dragon. And basically you could input more quarters. Hey, for kids who don't know, you used to have to pay quarters to play games. And then when you died, you had to put in more quarters. Anyway, so this is an arcade cabinet, and you had to input quarters to get more power-ups, more lives, more armor, whatever. They brought you to a screen that's like, hey, if you want this thing, put another quarter in the slot, and we'll give you that thing. And that just sounds awful, because you could like literally feel your money going away from you. And microtransactions today are like, oh, you just hit a button and then money just magically flies away off your credit card. And it's a little bit more bearable. However, it's not better, it's just psychologically better. As I said, microtransactions have been around since the 90s then. And computer games were like a big culprit of this, because it had the software in place for you to just put in your credit card information, because it's got like access to more stuff. Like if you're already on a computer, then you're already going to be connected to the internet, and you don't have to like have all that extra software that video game consoles, such as the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64, they didn't have that shit. But with a computer in the 90s, you did. So you might click something and it might take you to a website where you could just buy stuff. And that was a thing that happened. So while this argument against microtransactions is relatively new, past couple years, the process has been going on forever. Not forever, but I guess like what, 30 years now? Jesus, I'm old. Anyway, so that's what a microtransaction is. It's a little purchase that you make within a game to get more stuff. And these things are usually just cosmetic items that aren't going to make a big difference when you're playing like multiplayer games, one-on-one games, things that you're playing online where you're actually competing with other people. So you're not really paying to get better, you're just paying to look better. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you can pay for better weapons or better abilities or better something, better characters who have different abilities. But most of the time you're just paying for a new skin for a gun or a new skin for a character or something that just doesn't matter functionally, it just looks better. My problem with microtransactions is that the gaming industry has found out that microtransactions are more profitable than the game itself. So they can make $60 one time from you buying a game, and then they can just leave that game and then start working on the next game and make another $60 on that next game, and then leave that game as is, no support or anything. Start working on the next game and make another $60, and you can make $60 per person that buys it. Okay? Or the company can make one game for $60 and then release a new skin for one character for $1, whatever, however much money they cost. This is just an example. They can release one skin for one character for $1, and all of the hundreds of thousands of people that bought that one game for $60, there's math that suggests that a large number of people might pay that $1 for that one character one time, and then that's more money. So they have to find this balance between whether it's more profitable to start working on another game to make $60 one more time, or if it's more profitable to be pumping out skins for characters that people are just going to keep buying. Because, I mean, it's money. The point of the video game industry as an industry is to make money. While we as gamers prefer more games, they prefer more money. And I understand it, because I like money. But as a gamer, I wish we would just get more games. I'm beating around the bush a little bit here, but Grand Theft Auto 5 is the example. So when Grand Theft Auto 5 released in 2013, and then Grand Theft Auto Online released a month later. So everybody loved Grand Theft Auto 5, and everybody loved Grand Theft Auto Online. And the grind was crazy to make all this money, to buy all these cars, all these weapons, all these yachts, businesses, nightclubs, bunkers. Did I already say yachts? All the stuff you can buy that's like millions of dollars. So people are grinding and grinding and grinding for hours a day to do this. And then they introduced these things called shark cards. And a shark card on Grand Theft Auto Online is a microtransaction you can make to get in-game money. I'm not fully certain of the details of how many real-world dollars equate to how many GTA dollars, but it's money. It's real money in your hand that you can put in, and out comes 40 million GTA dollars. I think it's 8 million actually. I think it's $40 for 8 million GTA dollars, something like that. Developing more and more expensive content for GTA Online, such as nightclubs and all that other stuff. And the more expensive they make it, the more people are going to have to play to grind and grind and grind to get it. But also, there's this other group of people over here that are like, nah, f that, I'm not gonna grind. I'll just put in my credit card information. And then boom, they can get a yacht for just putting in credit card information, while this guy grinded for hundreds of hours to do 7 billion missions to get the money to buy a yacht. And it's not that it's unfair, like guy number money over here, he's just willing to pay more money. And guy number hours over here is just willing to put in a ton of time to unlock that stuff. It's not about the balance there, but I love Grand Theft Auto and I love Rockstar, and I would prefer to see them pumping out another game, not any Red Dead game, or Grand Theft Auto game, or something more in the style of LA Noire, or even Midnight Club. Just, I love Rockstar, and I want to see another Rockstar game instead of seeing all these Grand Theft Auto Online improvements. So, Grand Theft Auto Online is amazing, but I feel like there's already too much to it, and they just keep on making more because people just keep on throwing money at it. And it's like a vicious cycle here, where Rockstar keeps on putting out stuff, so people are going to keep buying stuff, so Rockstar is going to keep putting out stuff, and people are going to keep buying stuff. And I think the only time that it's going to stop and they're going to start working on the next game is when people stop buying stuff. And that's what my problem is with microtransactions, is I don't want to say it's making the developers lazy, but it's showing them that they can get less money for less work more times, instead of getting more money for more work fewer times. And each company has to decide which system is more profitable for them. And I'm worried that more and more companies are going to lead into this games as a service model, where they're releasing free games like Fortnite, like Rocket League, like Call of Duty Warzone, where the game itself is free and you can play it as much as you want. But if you want all the stuff you can unlock by playing it, like all the stuff, you can still get some stuff by playing these games. But if you want to get all the stuff you can unlock, you got to pay for a battle pass, you got to pay for skins, you got to pay for emotes, all that crazy stuff. You got to pay for everything individually, everything you want individually, pretty much, instead of buying one complete game that just has everything. I'm worried that more companies are going to lead into that games as a service umbrella instead of just releasing a full game with all the stuff already in it. And there's still going to be companies that still release full games that aren't microtransaction loaded down. And I don't necessarily think that makes them a better company, but it makes them a company that I'm more willing to support, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. It makes sense to me. The way I've worded this in the past is that microtransactions make developers lazy, because they can, instead of building a game from the ground up over and over, they could just build a game one time and then just input little pieces, piece by piece, as the people demand it. And it just lets them procrastinate to slowly put out content over and over. Which if it works for them, if they make money that way, that's fine. But it's just a slippery slope that's going to lead to us paying for the disc of a game with nothing on it, and then buying each asset from the game individually and putting them in ourselves. It's just crazy to me to think that the world of gaming has changed so much that we can't even trust the companies to give us a full game anymore. So you guys support who you want. Support whatever companies you want. Support whatever brands you trust. I'm not saying any of these companies are bad. Epic makes way more money than I will ever see in my life. So they're doing something right. And Rockstar, they're just raking in cash by the truckloads. And Activision Blizzard made like $3 billion last year off of microtransactions. So they're doing something right. People don't hate it as much as I do. I just prefer to see more substance in my games and less flashy garbage. That's all I had this week. Make sure you check back in next Tuesday for another video from the Spoiler Alert Network over on our YouTube page. Check us out on our Facebook page. Check us out on our Twitter feed. Check us out on our Instagram page. Go to belowthecollar.com/tsand and buy our tsand shirts. Check out our TikTok account at the Spoiler Alert Network. Maybe we're not even going to do that anymore. I don't know. I don't have a TikTok account anymore, so I'm not handling that. But until you see me or Brad again, make sure you stay tuned and stay dedicated.